Om Sahanavavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sah Veeryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu ma Vidvishavahai Om Shanti 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 Sadashivasamarambam Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Narayanam Padmabhavam Vasishtam Shaktim cha Tatputra Parasharam cha Vyasam Shukam Gaudapadam Mahantam Govinda Yogindra Matasya Sishyam Sri Shankaracharya Matasya Padma Padam cha hastamalakam cha shishyam tam todakam vartikakaramaन्यान् अस्मद्गुरून् सन्ततमानतोऽस्मि श्रुति स्मृति पुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम् मौनव्याख्या प्रकटितपरब्रह्मतत्त्वं युवानं वसिष्ठान्ते वसत् ऋषिगणैः आवृतं ब्रह्मनिष्ठैः आचार्येन्द्रं करकलितचिन्मुद्रमानन्दरूपं स्वात्मा रामं मुदितवदनं दक्षिणामूर्तिमीडे विश्वं पश्यति कार्यकारणतया स्वस्वामि सम्बन्धतः शिष्याचार्यतया तदेव पितृपुत्रात्यात्मना भेदतः स्वप्ने जागृति माये एष पुरुषो माया परिभ्रामितः तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नम इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये माया परिभ्रामितः ईश्वरः विश्वं स्वप्ने जागृति वा पश्यति कार्यकारणतया माया परिभ्रामितः ईश्वरः. This is a very kind of unacceptable statement, as though Ishvaraha Maya Adhikari, Mayavi, Maya is Bhagavan's power. How that very Bhagavan himself can become Paribhramitaha Bhavati? How does he become deluded by his own Maya? In the Advaita Drishti, there are not two things called Jiva and Ishvara. Jiva Anyaha, Ishvaraha Anyaha, iti nasti. This statement of Ishvaraha himself is Paribhramitaha Ishvaraha eva Jivaha Purushaha asmin dehe vasati pashyati anubhavati sarvam. That Ishvara himself is now here. That's why Bhagavan, as Krishna has said, Kshetrajnam chabimam vidvi sarvas kshetreshu bharata. I am the Kshetrajna, Kshetram janati, Deham janati, Shariram janati, Sharirastopi, Shariram janati, Sakshi rupena. So that very Ishvaraha, one who is residing in all of us, has assumed the nature of Jiva. The waker assumed the nature of a dreamer, not has become a dreamer. He's assumed the role of a dreamer. So long as the dream exists, the dreamer exists. Or so long as the dreamer exists, the dream exists, so to say. So when the dream ends, the dreamer wakes up to become the waker. So while the dreamer dreaming, the waker is still unaffected by the dreamerhood. Whatever happens to the dream, the waker is not at all affected by that. But he comes to know only after waking up. In the same way, or similar to that, Ishvaraha eva aham Jivarupena vishwam pashyami Karyakaranataya. Swaswami Sambandadaha, Shishya Acharya Rupena, Pitruputra Adi Atmana, Bedadaha, Beda Bhavena. So, Beda Bhavaha Jivasya Lakshanam. Jiva by nature is a perceiver of differences. Maya Krita Beda. So, until vichara is done, until jnanam takes place completely, this delusion of considering oneself as a jiva doesn't end. Unlike the Dvaita Margins, where they will say Jiva Anyaha, Ishvaraha Anyaha, Jivaha Sada Ishwarasya Dasaha Eva Nakadachit Jivaha Ishwaratvam Bhavidum Shakyate. At all times, the individual Jiva remains as a subservient to that Lord. At no time, Ishvara and Jiva can never be one. This is the state of the perception of all the Dvaita Margins, including Christianity, Islam, Judaism, Vaishnavite, Shaivite, Shaiva Siddhanta, Vaishnava Siddhanta, Shakta Siddhanta, Ganapatya Siddhanta, Saklam. For them, for all these Dvaita Margins, Vishwam Satyam. Yat yat pashyati jivaha tat sarvam satyam. Whatever is seen, perceived, experienced is true. On the one hand, we have Dvaita Margins who consider everything perceived as satyam. Just the diagonally opposite is the view of the Buddhism. What? Sarvam asatyam. Totally opposite. Nothing is true. Even the individuality is not true. So, even God is not true. Forget to put individual. God is also not true. Sarvam Sunya. On the one end of the spectrum, Sarvam Sat. Another end of the spectrum is Sarvam Asat. But Vedanta is Madhyama Marga. What is that? Asadabi Sat Rupena Pratiyate Vishwam. Vishwam Asadabi Sat Rupena Pratiyate. Kasmin Kale Kada Anubhava Kale. Yata Swapna. Swapna Samaye Sarvam Satyam Iti Bhati Pratiyate. Everything appears to be true. But upon inquiry on waking up, one comes to know that even though experienced, anubhutitopi na satyam. So, until the experience ends, asatyatvam or mithyatvam to be precise, cannot be understood. This anubhuti, this world of experience, until it ends, the unreality or mere appearance nature of the world, or even the jiva for that matter, cannot be understood. Now, Sushupti is a good example, so to say, but then that is not considered as a valid reasoning, because even buddhi is not there to analyze that point. So here in the continuation of this, how Ishvaraha appearing to be a jiva due to the Maya delusion, and Maya is explained as a great charming lady, as it is in 16. Avicharita siddheyam Maya veshya vilasini Purusham vanchayatyeva Mitya bhutei svavibramaihi. Avicharita siddha yam. Avicharita siddha. Avicharita siddha. When you don't inquire, when you don't question it, that is the state where an individual comes to have the delusion caused by this very Maya. Therefore, avicharita, when it is due to the absence of inquiry, siddha yam Maya. What is that? Veshya. It's a amorous one. She is one who is called Vilasini, playful, dancing about, deluding, encapturing the mind in every way. Purusham vanjayati, cheats, deceits the Purusha. Purusha here, Jiva Rupena Yaha Tishtati Jishvara. Just like if you consider dream world or dream created by dream girl, so to say, dream girl, she cheats, she deceits the waker in the state of dream. Purusham vanjayati, vanjayatva iva, vanjayatveva, vanjayatu, and vanjayatvu iva, it should be vanjayatu, vanjayati, vanjayatvu eva, vanjayatu eva, must be vanjayatveva. And how mithyabhutaihi svavibramaihi, by that very mithyabhuta, mere appearance, vibramaihi, with her ability to cause delusion, vibramaihi, mithyabhutaihi, vanjayatveva. Purusham, the individual here, as again, the Ishvara Tattvam that is there, as though self-forgetfulness happens there, and therefore one has reached the point of samsari. Now, for a common man, this Maya is not even available for inquiry. He or she doesn't even inquire, because of the firm conviction what is perceived experience is true. So when something is considered as true, you don't question it. You don't, because what my eyes, ears, nose, tongue, skin, everything is reporting is true. Then where's the question of questioning it? So, avicharita siddha yam Maya. Vicharam na sahate Maya. Maya does not want inquiry. That's why Ramana Maharshi says, only way to get out of it is to do the inquiry. That's a straight path. Vichar karna hi hoga. Vicharahina jiva baddha. Who is a man, who is a person who is really bound? Vicharahina purusha. जो विचार नहीं करता है वो बद्ध है. So here, continuing, Maya nirasana mantara moksha abhava. Maya nirasanam antara, without the removal of Maya, moksha abhava. There is no possibility of moksha. That is said here. Natasya moola vichedam abhivanchanti kechana tesham pakshe kadam moksha manasa sambhavishyati. Tasyaha moola vichedam na kinchana abhivanchanti, kechana abhivanchanti. Nobody actually wants to uproot this very Maya. Moola vichedam na abhivanchanti. People, kechana, some people do not want the destruction or elimination or uprooting of this Maya. from the root. That's why in the 15th chapter, what did he say? न रूपमस्येह ततोपलभ्यते नान्तो न चादिर्न च सम्प्रतिष्ठा अश्वत्थमेनं सुविरूढमूलम् असङ्गशस्त्रेण दृढेन चित्वा. Suvirudam. Suvirudam chitva. From the root you have to remove. Don't cut only the branches. It will come back immediately. Within no time. Next rain it will be back. Now, that's what happens when we do merely study and not inquiry. There's a difference between inquiry and study. Studies anybody can study. But inquiry needs purity of mind. वैराग्य चाहिए इंक्वायरी करने के लिए वैराग्य चाहिए. You have to have dispassion, because without that dispassion, one would not even start the inquiry. I know it, but I don't have the guts to inquire. I don't have the guts, because I know the result is that I will have to let go of all my identification, all my so-called identity, attachment, possession, ego, all that I have to let go. But I am not ready for that. So, वैराग्य नहीं है तो विचार नहीं होगा. So here, therefore, tesham pakshe, in their side, and from their standpoint, katam mokshaha bhavishyati. How can they, such people who now are not ready to inquire, how can there be ever their freedom? Kasya mokshaha? Manasaha mokshaha. It is the mind that is finally has to get released from its own misconception. For due to manas alone there is bondage, and due to manas alone there is freedom. That mind alone comes to experience finally its own release from its own misconceptions, and that very mind itself is the one which is now suffering. After all, when the body is let down or died, what is that which is taking the next birth? It is the sthula sharir. Sorry, sukshma sharir. Manaha antakarana. It is that antakarana, it is that mind which is constantly traveling from one birth to one body to another. It is the mind which is experiencing papa punyadi karma phalam. It is a mind that is capable of overcoming the same problem of bondage. So therefore, Moola Vichedaha, that is Savasana Nivrittihi. Sarvavasana Nivrittihi actually. And Samsara Dukkha Paramparaya Anivrittihi Ityaha. What is that? Bandhanam Tad Anivrittau, when one does not end it. Samsara dukkha paramparaya, by the continuous sustenance of this samsara dukkha. Anivrittihi, there is no nivritti also. Manasa eva manasaha mokshaha. Manasam sakashat mokshaha. Mano vilayo va Parama upashama upama ushapashama lakshita paramanandaha tesham kadam syad. Manolaye manonashe eva paramananda prapti. The mind that has assumed itself a position of jiva, or here manaha is to be considered as the jivasya lakshanam, meaning mind which is expressing constantly all the vasanas due to its own self-delusion caused by Maya, and therefore that mind alone which is subject to all the samsara dukkha, when it takes the nasha of that takes place through self-inquiry. That's why Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi says, when you quieten the mind etc. through other means, Laya vinashane ubayarodane layagadam punar bhavati no mritam pranabandhalat liyade manaha jala pakshivat rodha sadhanam. So all the other methods of quietening the mind can be subsidence of the mind, not the destruction. Ekachintanat nashameti. Vicharena nashameti. By vichara alone, it will get destroyed. So these three avasthas that we experience in everyday life, waking, dream, and deep sleep, this is what the mind goes through every day. Tisropyavastha manasaha jagrat swapna sushuptayah chakravat parivartante veda brante kahetavah. Tisraha api avastha manasaha. It is for the mind alone, these three states of waking state where we are fully aware of all the perceptions and vasanas. And whatever is seen and heard during the waking repeats itself in a different format in the dream. And then the mind for a period of time subsides, manolaya, along with the senses, etc. That is sushupti. So tisra api avastha manasaha jagrat swapna sushuptayah chakravat parivartante. You keep repeating only. Every day it repeats. One is in the waking state and after some time slowly goes to dream and then deep sleep and then again some lucid dream and wakes up again and then again. Chakravat parivartante. Veda brantya eka hetavah. The only reason, primary cause of this is delusion, continuous delusion. So, mano moksha abhave kadam paramananda labha. If one is not able to destroy the mind through inquiry, how can there will be ever the availability of the supreme bliss? Manasi sati tasya manasah tisropi jagrada adi avastaha chakravat parivartante. They keep repeating. Yada bahyendriyadvara bahya vishya akarata bhavati tada jagradavastha. Through the sense organs which are extrovert, when one experiences that is called jagradavastha. Yada jagradishta vasana matrataya anta pravishati tada swapna avastha. Those same very experiences which are caused by the vasanas when are experienced only internally, that is called swapna avastha. Yada punaha nadi chitra pracharam parityajya. Instead of traveling through the nadis towards the senses, etc., swakarane liyate, it abides in its own, it subsides in its own karanam, in the heart, unknowingly, due to ignorance, tada ashesha vishesha vedya vedana akara parivilayat, with no distinguishing qualities of experiences being subsided, with the differences that are seeing and hearing and so many different experiences having been subsided, sushuptihi bhavati. Evam manasah sancharat veda vibramaha jayante. These are various kinds of delusions. Kartru kriya karaka phala ashrayaha bhavati. I am the doer, kartuhu, kriya, the action, karaka phala ashrayaha, and various other results of those actions. This way, the jiva continuously is in a cycle Waking dream, sleep, waking dream, sleep, waking dream, sleep, ending in death, and then again birth and death, and birth and death, and birth and death. And endless. So, tasya eva bandhana hetutvam is spoken about. Tabi karodi karmani punai punastair badhyate punaha manasa kevala sakshi Bhanuvat Purusha Paraha Tabihi. With all those, three different kinds of states, Karmani Karoti, various actions are performed, Punaha, Taihi, by them alone. Tabihi also can be considered Panchakoshaihi. Karmani Karoti, Punaha, Taihi, with them only, Badhyate Punaha, again getting bound. Manasaha Kevala Sakshi. At the same time, the one which is uninvolved here, the Sakshi, Manasaha Sakshi, Kevalaha Purushaha, Paraha. The very witness to that mind is the Purushaha, individual, that is the pure self, pure consciousness. Bhanuvat Sakshi, like that sun. The sun is a Sakshi, witness to all that is going on there. Anything that is happening in the universe is called Loka Chakshuhu. We install many cameras now everywhere. So camera's work is to only capture. It doesn't get involved. It just watches, right? Interesting thing is when camera is watching, somebody is watching the camera also. If camera alone watches, what is the use? Camera laka hai. Kaun dikh raha hai, usko koi nahi. Then what's the point in having the camera? The camera is watching, and somebody is watching that camera also. So just like the sun is considered as the one which gives light, because of which everything is happening, but he is not involved there. Just giving a light. What happens because of that light is not concerned. Similarly, we must understand for the sake of our present inquiry that the Jiva is the engaging individuality, but that Jiva's higher nature is the Purusha. It's called Purushottama. Uttama Purushastvanyah Paramatmetyudahritah in 15th chapter. Purushottama Yoga. There, Uttama Purusha. Interestingly, in Sanskrit language, if you know, the third person and second person and first person are there, right? In English also. That, he, she, third person. You is second person. I is the first person, right? I am. You are. He, she, that, third person. So in Sanskrit language, it's a different, funny way they put it. So if you say you, it is called Madhyama Purusha. So, but when you say I, that is called Uttama Purusha. So it is interesting that the third person is not important here. That's not a Mukhya. The I is the Mukhya. That is the Pradama Purusha. Pradama Purusha is this, the interesting. Pradama Purusha is the third person. Madhyama is the second person. Uttama is the individual. I. That's Uttama Purushastu Anya, Paramatma. Anyway, we'll come to this point here. So here the Purusha is referred, he is the one who is Sakshi. Sakshi Purusha Bhanuvat Paraha. Bhanuvat Paraha. It is like that of the sun, is different. So Kadam Manasaha Samsara Varnanam Kriyate. So it says Manasaha Aneka Vikarinaha Sakshi Purushaha Kevalaha. Sakshi is Kevalaha means alone, in solitude, exclusive. Nirvikaraha Manasaha Paraha Anyaha Yata Jagat Sakshi Bhanu Ityartha. Jagat Sakshi or Loka Chakshu. So that Purusha is only a Sakshi, he does not engage in what is going on at the level of the mind. Now, when we say different, please do not misunderstand it to be another being. Again and again, I bring out that point of the dreamer himself is the waker. While the dream is going on, the waker is not a different person. Waker is the same person who is lying on the bed, and dreamer is dreaming, and the dreamhood is a state of being, not another person is there. At the same time, both are there. Only one. In the same way, within us, the Ishvara and Jiva are not two entities. This is where the Dvaita and Advaita differs. In Dvaita Marga, they say Ishvara is Anyaha, different. No, it is not different. It is the same being at a different level of awareness. It's a different level of awareness. As you, if I ask you, are you a human being or a man or a woman? You tell me. If I ask a person, a man, are you a human or a man? When you add HU, I become a human. When the HU is not there, I am a man. So, I am man and human at the same time, right? If I am not a human, can I be a man? No. Can I be a human but not a man? Yes, possible. You become a woman. Whatever it is, woman or a man, primarily human. And are there two things? You have to tell me, like a lawyer, are you human or a man? Only one answer you can give. Are Buddhu? I'm both. How can I be two? I'm a human and man also. In the same way, Ishvaraha and Jivaha are not two. Essentially, Ishvara presently appearing as Jiva. Essentially, human had taken the body of a man or body of a woman. So, Upadi Kritameva Jiva, Jivatvam. Due to the Upadi alone, I am a man or a woman. But essentially, I am a human. Similarly, essentially, I am Ishvaraha. Upadi Karanat Aham Jiva. What Upadi? Alpatvam. Limitations that are caused by Maya makes me appear as Jiva. Similarly, Aham Jagra Purusha Eva, Swapna Purusha Eva Tishtami Asmin Same. I am a wakeful person only, but presently, due to the condition of taking up the Swapna body, Swapna Upadi, Aham Swapna. I am the Swapna Purusha because of I have taken Swapna Upadi. If the Swapna Upadi is discarded, who am I then? Similarly, if a Jiva Upadi is discarded, I am Ishvara. So, at this point, I am Sakshi, watching what this Jiva is doing. But to come to that point of Sakshi, that is the sadhana one has to do. And for that, one has to become convinced. If I am not convinced that Ishvara eva aham, Sakshi eva aham, na karta, na bhokta, that requires vairagya. मैं नहीं करता हूं, जो जिस कर्म में जो फल मिलता है वो मेरा नहीं है, तो मैं कर्म काम नहीं करता हूं, तो मेरा फल में होना चाहिए, ऐसा नहीं होता है. आप करता नहीं तो भोगता भी नहीं होगा. If you are not an enjoyer, then only you won't be a doer. If you are a doer, and the intention of doing is to enjoy. So Bhagavan Krishna, what he says, karo, but na bhogo. Karma karo, na bhokta bhava. First, that itself requires vairagya. कर्म करते रहो, भोग नहीं करना उसमें. कर्म फलम त्यज, कर्म करो. उसके बाद वही करते हैं, वो भोक्ता भी नहीं बनो. भोक्ता ही कर्म करता है. So you do not become an enjoyer if you are not an. First you do the action and don't be an enjoyer. All right, and that itself is difficult. Then the question comes: if I am not enjoyer, why should I do? सबके लिए करो. For everybody else you do it. Slowly he realizes, unless I have the feeling of being an enjoyer, there is no action will come out of me, because actor is a product of enjoyment, seeking enjoyment. So then remove that wanting to become a bhokta, then karma will come down by itself. Is it not true? If I am invited for the party and the party will have only non-vegetarian food and I don't like it, I don't go there. Why? Anyway, I'm not going to eat. Should I go? So karma wahan pe, that at the very moment it will get discarded. You don't need to do anything about it. People when they come for Shivaratri, when we had last week, we do the Dharma Abhishek, and people are given dinner also, free dinner also. So they call our center and ask, what time you are serving dinner? भगवान दर्शन के लिए नहीं आ रहा है. They will call and ask seriously, when is your actually dinner? So किसके लिए आ रहे हो यहाँ पे? Oh, why are you coming then? So when we say dinner, this year we are not giving dinner. अच्छा ठीक है, मैं नहीं आऊँ. So if dinner is not there, why should I go to the temple? In another temple they are giving it, so I'll go there. So action is caused by kama. काम से ही कर्म जनित जननम, कर्म से जननम, कर्मणः जननम कामात् एव, काम एव कर्म मूलम. काम नहीं है तो काम नहीं है. So काम नहीं है तो काम भी नहीं है. So here the inquiry should be very clear that Ishvara is a Sakshi. So that's why I say Asakshikam Avastatrayam. One who is not a Sakshi is the one who has Avastatrayam. The three states of experiences are for the one who is not a Sakshi. For a Sakshi, there is no three avasthas, only one, what I am. In all the three conditions, he'll be the same. And then again, continuing, the next verse, Atmanaha Bandha Abhavaha, the absence of bondage for Atman. Yata Prani Krite Arkaha Karmabhi Naiva Badhyate. Yata manakritairatma. Sorry. Tata manakritairatma. Sakshitvan naiva badyate. Manasa eva bandha, manasa eva moksha. Amritabindu Upanishad also says, mind alone is subject to bondage, mind alone is subject to release. Bandhaya vishayasaktam moksham nirvishayam smritam. In the Brahma Bindu Upanishad also, as it is quoted here, Bandhaya vishayasaktam muktye nirvishayam smritam. And again, the quote from Kathopanishad that Sarvalokasya chakshur nalipyate chakshushair bahyadashaihi ekastata sarvabhutantaratma nalipyate loka dukkena bahya. Just like the Sarvaloka chakshuhu suryaha chakshusaihi bahyadosaihi nalipyate. In the same way, ekastata sarvabhutantaratma, the self of all within, na lipyate loka dukkhena bhakyaha. That being different from loka dukkhena bhakyaha. Sakshi rupatvat. So here, yata pranikritaihi karmabihi, those actions that are done by the individual beings, arkaha sun naiva badyate, is not at all affected. Tata, in the same way, manakritaihi karmabihi, by the actions done by the mind, sakshitvat atma na badyate. Being a witness, atma is not affected by whatever is done by the actions by the mind. See, vairagya at one level is staying away from things with an intent of being as a sadhana. Viveka vairagya shat sampattihi mumukshutvam as a adhikari lakshana. So at that point, vairagya is a prayatnena karoti. With an effort, one practices dispassion. Oh, I have to be dispassionate. I should not be affected. But jnana deva vairagyasya purnatvam. Only by knowledge one gains that completeness of the dispassion. It's no more an effort or an action to be undertaken. मैं पुरुष हूं, मैं ईश्वर हूं, जो जीव करता है वो मन करता है, मेरा नहीं है. It is not mine. It is not me. This awareness, this knowledge is a higher level of vairagya. It is not a practice. It's a perception. It's still not mature. The maturity comes only when one understands that it's not an effort at all. Its knowledge completes it. Because aham sakshi eva, na jivaha, na purusha, na manaha. So, atmani kartrutvadikam aupadikam. Aupadikam, upadikritam. From the upadi standpoint, it appears to be a karta, but not really. So that is explained here. Atma karoti karmani badyate muchyate chataihi ityopacharikhi kliptihi brahma matraiva kevalam. In general, the statement is Atma karoti karmani, Atma badyate, Atma muchyate iti. So an individual is said to be doing the action, he is the one said to be bound, he is said to be released. These are all aupachariki, upacharena. Upachara means it is a way of saying, but not really. From the Upadhi standpoint, see, if a Mahatma is there and he also is doing action, one would say he's doing action. See, like anybody else. Where is he released from action? वो भी खाता है, सोता है, सब करता है. So if we say that, what is the difference? He's also doing the same thing. But the knowledge of the person who has realized the higher nature, how much such a person is free from his own actions and how he remains unaffected by it, cannot be known by anybody else other than himself. If I say I have a headache, can you feel it? Somebody goes to a doctor and says, I have a headache. The doctor says, if you have a head, you will have a ache. There is no question about it. अरे इतना वेदना है, I have so much of headache. Do something, कुछ करो. So if you are saying that you have to do something, I'll do so. Then he makes all the blood tests, this test, MRI, this and that. And he looks at all the details, statistics. There's nothing wrong with your blood work, nothing wrong with your. So according to me, with all these details which I have in front of me, I think you don't have a headache. बुद्धू है क्या? I am experiencing. So in the same way, what happens in the experience of a Mahatma who is free from all actions, even while engaging in action, cannot be known externally. As Bhagavan Krishna says in chapter 14, that Gunatita Purushaha, he is above the gunas, cannot be known by others. One who has crossed the gunas, cross means he has overcome, surpassed the gunas. So, nadveshti sampravrittani na nivrittani kankshati. When they are there, he doesn't want to get rid of them. Or he doesn't hate them. The Rajas has come, Sattva has come, Tamas has come. Nadveshti sampravrittani na nivrittani kankshati. See, he doesn't neither want them nor he wants to get rid of them. Let him they be there, whatever they need to do. Guna guneshu vartante iti matvana satyati. Guna vartanta ityeva ne ingate. He doesn't move. So here also, Atma karodi karmani badhyate muchyate chataihi iti aupachariki triptihi. It's only imagined. Brahmamatra eva kevalam. This is only Brahmamatra. It is only an appearance. It is not true. Eti evam karta abhokta cha atma kadam tarihi tasmin vadinam loka agamayoscha kartritvadi prasiddhihi iti ashankya japa kusumadi sannihite spatike lohityaavabasavat कर्तृ मन आदि सन्निध्य उपाधि निमित्तः तस्मिन् कर्तृत्वादि अवभासः अविवेकात् वादिलोकागम प्रसिद्धिः उपपद्यते इति अभिप्रेत्याह. Like if you are keeping a red flower in near the spatika will appear like the red. So long as it is sanidhyam, the proximity of that is there, of the blood, of the lotus, red color lotus, you will see the spatika also appearing to be of the red color, but not necessarily any part of the spatikam has assumed the color. From their standpoint, when you're looking at it, it looks like that. So too, Atma from a ignorant vision appear to be the doer, enjoyer, participant. So in the case of a Mahatma, it is not that he, for the sake of others, he will be, detached. He is detached. It is not for the Aupachika, he is not those for the sake of others to appreciate he is detached. No, he knows that this is not me, this is not what I am. Whatever others seeing is not me. Yet, because it is not possible for anyone to see, therefore he will also appear to be a doer. That is why it is said only a Mahatma will know the nature of another Mahatma. Otherwise, a Laukika Purushaha, they cannot understand this. In Tamil, there is a verse saying that only the way of the way a snake has gone, only another snake will know it. Pambin kal pambariyam. Actually, the snake doesn't have any feet, so it doesn't leave any mark on the ground. So when it moves, only another snake will know how it went. In the same way, Mahatmas, how they work in this world and remain unattached, cannot be known by a common man. That's why Bhagavan Krishna says, Na buddhi bedam janayed ajnanam karma sanginam joshayed sarva karmani vidvan yukta samacharan. The ajnani log, they don't understand, so don't delude them, don't confuse them, because they cannot understand. So let him work along with them with great amount of enthusiasm, as if he is also attached to the action. As if. So, Atmanaha Maya Viduratvam. Atma is far from the influence of Maya, really speaking. Like what? Dhuma Bra Dhuli Niharehi Asprishtopi Divakaraha Yata Channa Iva Bhati Tataivatmapi Mayaya Yatha, just as Divakaraha Channa Iva Bhati. Channa means covered. Chad, to cover. Channa, covered. Iva Bhati, as though being covered, appears. By what? Dhuma, by smoke. Abra, cloud. Dhuli, dust. Nihara, fog. As a compound form. Dhumabra dhuli niharaihi. By these, asprushtaha api, even though untouched. Of course, sun is millions of light years away, and this all cloud and dust and then fog and other things are maybe probably some 100 miles from the earth, let us say. How can this is 100 miles away, this thing can ever touch that which is millions of light years? Light years untouched, never even anywhere come closer. But from our standpoint, when you look at it, I think today the sun is really looking red, Why? Because of this smoke and all this. The sun has become red. How can sun has become red? It can never be losing its luster. It can never be covered. But channa iva abhati, as though covered. Tata eva, in the same way, Mayaya Atma api channa iva abhati. The same way it appears to be overpowered by Maya. It's only an appearance there, not truly it has happened. So that is the reason why various examples are given to explain this. Without this proper inquiry, one will not inquiry with faith. And only when, with that faith, with that inquisitiveness, with that interest, with that vairagya, an individual who comes to explore this becomes free. Without that exploration, vichara, or the conviction that Atma ever remains unaffected by anything that goes on at the level of the antakarana and body, etc., one will not be able to really experience the nityatva, avikaritva of the Atman. And two more examples is given here. Yata leela vashat kaschit brahmamana kumarakah brahmatat pashyati jagat shatachandram nabasthalam tataiva mayaya jivah brahmito vasanavashat nanakaramidam vishvam brahmamanam cha pashyati. Yata, just as kumarakah kaschit, some young boy, leela vashat, as a play. Sometimes, you take the child and zzz around, or turn around. That child is made into going to that, what do you call, a swinging chair or whatever. Rotate him, and then the whole room is shaking, going round, round, round. So, yada leela vashat kaschit brahmamanaha, being rotated, circled around, kumarakaha tat jagat brahmat pashyati. The world as though is being rotating, and also shata chandram nabasthalam. Also he sees not one moon, 100 moons you'll see. Why, Swami, you go that way? One peg will be the Christian, no. सब होता है. Branti, out of brandy takes place. One cup, I don't know how much you have to take, I have no idea, but we take it and then Brahmalokam. In the same way, tata eva, mayaya jivaha brahmitaha. The same way with the maya, due to maya, the jiva is deluded. Vasana vashat. See, again, maya is not some external thing that is coming and making you deluded. Vasana, the existing vasanas, overpowering an individual and making him go round, morning till evening. Nana akaramidam vishvam brahmamanam. This world consisting of varieties of things. Of the past vasanas, there are inherent tendencies or impressions, various forms that are seen and activities. Brahmamanam nana akaramidam vishvam pashyati. So that is the reason why vasanakshayatvai moksha. Maya is working through the vasana. It's not another existing thing that comes and disturbs us as a power and force. It is coming in the form of vasanas only. So that vasana alone causing that delusion, as much as the swapna or the dream is nothing but what is gathered during the waking as impressions that alone, those alone come and create the world for us to experience. So too, what is collected over many lives as impressions alone causes this world of varieties of forms, attraction, repulsion, and all that, because of which an individual appears to be deluded. Not really. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah, Sarve Santu Niramayaha, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Ma Kaschid Dukkha Bhad Bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.